Sometimes the most powerful words are not spoken face to face, but written by trembling hands, knowing they might be the last words ever sent home. It was the summer of 1916, during the height of the First World War. The battlefields of Somme, France, were drowned in mud, smoke, and cries of men who carried both fear and courage in their hearts. Among them was Private William Carter, a young man of 24 from a small farming town in Ohio. Back home, he was known for his laughter, for his love of books, and for the way he treated everyone with kindness. He was not a soldier by choice. He was a soldier by duty. Before leaving, William had promised his family, "I'll write as often as I can, and when this war is over, I'll come back home and help Father in the fields again." But deep down, even as he boarded the train, he knew there was no guarantee of return. Life in the trenches was misery carved into earth. Rats crawled through supplies. The stench of death lingered in the air, and nights were filled with artillery fire that shook the ground like thunder. Yet, every evening, William sat with a small notebook, his pencil dull, his hand stained with dirt. He wrote. Sometimes it was a simple description of the day. "Dear Mother, the sun broke through the clouds this morning, and for a moment I almost felt like I was back home on the farm, watching the cornfields dance in the wind." Other times it was more personal. "Sarah, I keep your photograph in my pocket. It's worn now, edges curled, but when I look at it, I swear I hear your laughter again. It's what keeps me alive." The letters became his lifeline, a way to keep his soul alive even when the world around him seemed to fall apart. On the morning of July 1st, 1916, orders came. William's battalion was to go over the top. It was a phrase every soldier feared. It meant leaving the fragile safety of the trenches and charging into open fire. That afternoon, William sat against the damp trench wall with his notebook. Around him, men sharpened bayonets, whispered prayers, or stared into the distance with hollow eyes. But William wrote, his pencil pressed hard against the paper as if he knew this was his last chance. "My dearest Mother, Father, and Sarah, if these words reach you, it may mean I am no longer there to say them. Know that I carried your love with me every step of this journey. Mother, your voice still guides me like the songs you used to hum in the evenings. Father, I hope I made you proud. Sarah, if I do not come back, promise me you will still laugh, still live, still love. My life may end here, but my love for you will never die." He paused. His hands shook. The gunfire above roared louder, closer. He closed the notebook, slid it inside his jacket, and whispered, "This is all I can leave behind." The whistle blew. Men climbed the ladders, rushing into a storm of bullets. William followed, his heart pounding so loudly he thought it might drown out the explosions. Mud clung to his boots, bodies fell around him, smoke filled his lungs, and yet, in that chaos, one thought carried him forward, his family. He made it halfway across the field before a sharp pain tore through his chest. His body collapsed into the mud, but his hand clutched at his jacket, where the letter lay. A fellow soldier knelt beside him, shouting, "Hold on, Will, you'll make it!" But William, gasping for breath, only whispered, "Give the letter to my family." And then silence. Weeks later, in the quiet town of Ohio, a knock came at the Carter family's door. William's mother, opened it to see a soldier in uniform, his eyes downcast, his hands holding an envelope. He spoke softly. "Ma'am, I served with your son. He asked me to bring you this." Her hands trembled as she took the letter. She sank into a chair, unfolding the paper slowly, her eyes scanning the words her son had written with what strength he had left. Tears stained the page as she whispered, "Oh, William." Beside her, Sarah pressed her face into her hands, sobbing. William's father, a man of quiet strength, turned away, unable to hold back his own tears. The house was silent, except for the sound of grief and the rustle of the letter that had traveled across oceans and battlefields to bring a son's final words home. Years passed. The war ended, the world moved forward, but the Carter family never forgot the letter. It stayed framed above the mantelpiece, a reminder not of loss, but of love. Visitors would often pause to read it, and William's mother would say softly, "These were his final words, not of fear, not of war, but of love." Sarah never married. Instead, she dedicated her life to caring for soldiers who returned, wounded and broken. She carried William's memory with her, always saying, "He may have left this world, but he never left me." And in that small town, William Carter became more than just a name etched on a stone memorial. He became a story, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, love finds a way to live on. When a soldier writes his final words, they are not about the war he fought, but the love he carried. Those words live beyond the battlefield. They live in the hearts of those who read them, and they echo through generations. Did this story touch your heart, too? Share your thoughts in the comments.